You get 10 done.
Dude, Mac, you want to hear my dream?
If it's quick, yeah.
Okay, so I am like deathly afraid of snakes. And when I got home in my dream, I was like talking to my stepdad. I was like, dude, something's not right. And I look over and there's this venomous snake. And I literally jumped on him and I started screaming. And he, like, the snake ran away and I didn't know where it went. And I looked down and it was wrapped around my leg.
Yikes.
And it bit me. And I woke up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You don't like snakes?
I freaking hate snakes.
Are you allowed to use Sharpie?
Brandon hates snakes.
I will
this is double sided, so I probably
drove booklets before I ever touched it.
Get over it.
That was not a good noise.
What'd you say?
Pink Floyd. I love that.
Anybody else in colors?
Yeah.
Colors?
No.
Colors? No. Okay. Colors?
Yeah, I have some colors, please.
You like some colors?
Certainly, I
No,
have
okay.
some.
How about you?
It's man-made.
Oh, already did it. Preempted. Tucker got pens before class.
He stole them before class.
Wait, you stole them?
I just walked up there and grabbed them.
Oh yeah, so you grab them when you walk in? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's all good. I thought he had it from yesterday.
So I think I learning.
I know.
I don't know.
They might not learn geometry, but they're gonna learn
I
something,
think
right?
I did.
Yeah. As many as you want. In fact, if no one else wants them, I'll leave the bucket here. You get them all. Get them all.
Sure.
Thanks.
Ivy, I love your hair. All right.
Red.
I'm in Danny mode today. All right. God bless the child. All right. God bless America.
America.
Is that how you start every speech? That's what I would do if I was in speech class.
I
No,
said
try mine
God
with
bless
a
Donald
story.
Trump.
Before I can start my speech, I just need to talk about the troops, right? Go right into that. And in conclusion, that's how you make a PB&J sandwich. Thank you, America. All right, so
Thank you, Donald Trump.
here we go.
America.
So, find the value of each variable. Well, in order to solve this problem, we need to know what we're looking at. We got a lot of stuff going on here. We've got angle bisectors.
Heck yeah, we do.
So, angle bisectors always intersect at what point? What do we call that center? The in center. Maddie, you need to calm down. Okay, give somebody else a chance. So, I'm going to write this down. You don't have to, because that's not what they're asking for. But G is the in center, right? Now, someone other than Maddie, for the love of God. Why do they call it the in center?
Because it's the center of the circle that's inside you.
Yeah. So there's a circle that's inside here.
Yes, Ivy.
Now, awesome. So we know that.
He's got radii.
We got radii. Look at these kids. They're on fire.
We Australia.
So those are radii. That's right. So these guys are radii. Let me just highlight these right angles, right? Those must be radii.
You're in Nashville, Tennessee.
So what must x be then?
5.
5, right? Can you guys teach my regular geometry class about this? Because they're like crying about this homework that I gave them today. Just absolutely crying, my regular geometry.
Because they don't have a work that big.
Okay? Like my first hour. Third hour.
You can't blame them for the first hour.
Fourth hour.
Period.
Sixth hour. Yeah, they had this. They had homework, I know, right? Shocker. All right, so we got x. What about y? Well, y is referring to this guy. How are we going to find y? I will remind you, but I won't tomorrow, that if that's 90, this has got to be 92, right? 90 as well, to be clear. 90 as well. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you. I knew you'd appreciate that. So, how do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you get y? Whoa.
Isn't that what happened?
In the movie?
Yeah.
What did they do?
Didn't you say
Talking crap behind your back.
Oh, they talk behind her back? Yeah. They do listen. I love this class. All right. How are we going to find y? Well, isn't y part of a couple triangles?
Yeah.
Right? Any interesting triangles it might be a part of?
A right triangle.
A right triangle right here. So we can use Pythag to find y because we know two of the other sides. Now question. Is y a leg of the right triangle, or is it the hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
How do you know it's the
That's
hypotenuse?
the biggest part.
It's across from the 90, right? A lot of you guys might think, oh, 12 is the biggest side. 12 is a big number, right? But y is going to be bigger because it's across from the 90 degree, right? The bigger the angle, the bigger the opposite side, right? If I open up the angle really wide, the opposite side's going to be really long. Right? And 90 is the biggest angle in that triangle, guaranteed. So that's going to be the biggest side. So how do we solve? We do a squared plus b squared. That's 5 squared and 12 squared. We're going to add them together. And that's going to get us y squared. Cool. So let's solve for y. Brandon, what is 5 squared? Brandon, Doc. Why? Ooh. Who? Exactly, Doc. 5 squared. What's that?
25.
25. Only thing funnier than 24. Who knows 12 squared? Who's got it? 144. It's 120 plus 24, right? So 144. Now, 25 and 144. What do they add up to? 169. Nice. Now we need to know what the root of 169 is, right? Now, you should know this, because 169 is a great number. What is the root of 169? It's a nice number.
13.
13 is true. Good calculator work, Eads.
I met you on Instagram. He actually didn't look on Instagram.
For real? I saw him on his phone.
I'm actually looking at Instagram. I don't.
My guy. Well done. So it's 13. Right. I don't know. Now you know that 13 squared is 169. You'll never forget. I don't know why people stop at 12 squared. I think 13 squared is pretty funny. All right. 2. Can't see the board. Is it because I'm too tall? What happened? We good? Is it because Maddie's in the way? Is it because we don't have rows anymore? And she's in the middle of a row? Is it because of Maddie and her voluminous hair? Is that what it is? She's trying to compliment you. Can you guys scooch just a little? Like just enough so you're in Ava's way. Perfect. Oh, almost. Is that good? Okay. Perfect. There you go. Is that good? And then Joseph can see right, but oh my god. It's like stadium seating. Why haven't I thought of this?
We haven't had a problem.
We could pair up and then alternate. You know what I'm saying here? Right? In between. I need to think about that. If that's possible. If these only enter from the left seats.
Man, if you need a hobby,
We gotta move over that.
We can get like tiers, right? So it'd be like a theater, right?
you need.
But now Joey can't see.
Let's do it.
Up to the back of the classroom. We did that in band one year. We had a bunch of extra tables. And we just stacked tables on top of each other, put chairs on top.
I love how we
Tiered seating.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It'd be amazing. Like a
I
lecture
always
hall.
got stuck in the back of the room because my last name started with a W.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
I know
I
it's
never
been
saw
fun.
anything on the board.
But now you're Bechtel, so you're good to go.
Yeah. But I always got stuck in the back because I couldn't sit outside. So I was stuck in the
Tiered
back.
seating. Okay? Recliners.
Yes.
Right? Movie.
Always forget.
Speaking of which, we are the lock-in for the end of the year is in the works.
Yeah.
I am asking about it. I need to get it. You know, I got to run up the flagpole, as it were, and ask to make sure it's okay. But I've asked the people at the bottom, janitors, etc., and they said it wouldn't be too much of a headache for them. We've been talking about how it would work logistically. So if we can get the official approval up top, I'm going to work with the teachers next, and if they feel like they would feel good with supervising, because I can't handle 100 kids all at once, right? Especially you knuckleheads, right?
For the
So-
whole school?
Yeah, it'd be all my classes, right? All my classes. And if it's good to go, we're good to go. The lecture for the review will be free, the plan is, and then $10 to get in for pizza, et cetera, et cetera. If you can't afford it, send me an email. We'll work this out later. But I'll have kids that can't afford it sending me an email. I'll vouch for them. I'll cover it. If you can't afford more than $10, we'll accept donations. Right? Anything extra will go to Game Club or buying pens or getting more pizza for the party.
I like pizza.
Okay. But that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We might just be doing those 3-hour sessions like we did last semester that not a single one of you guys in here attended. But wait, you did. You just went to a different one.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have to
right.
take my final though.
Yeah. So that's true. You didn't have to take it. That's part of why you guys didn't attend. Corinne was here though. We made it a time. All right.
Was Corinne the only one?
Emily, were you
I was here in spirit.
here for the final review? So I think it was you two that came in.
I just know me and Chloe.
But we kind of like combined you with my regular geometry at the same time, something like that. I remember something weird like that going on, right? Because it wasn't just you two and me for like 3 hours, right? Or maybe we did it really quick. Might have been. Were you here at the same?
Fly through because I
Okay.
Right, you had to go through, and then maybe you came later or something, or were you there when she was there too? Yeah. Sorry, I got a billion kids, and I see them all for 3 hours over that. I barely slept that weekend, but yeah, good on you guys. All right. So next one. We know that G is the circumcenter. Now this is a tough problem. Who remembers if G is the circumcenter? When is the circumcenter on the side of the triangle?
Right angle.
When it's a right triangle. Very good, Mr. Eads.
Thank you.
Tucker, I need more. I need more.
Gotta be faster than that.
So that's a right triangle, the whole thing, right? It's got to be. Now, what lines make the circumcenter? What lines form to make the circumcenter? What do we call those? Mm-mm.
Radii. What?
Mm-mm. There are radii because we got a circumcircle, right? That's true. That's true. That's true.
No, that's not me.
Thinking too hard.
Who wants to know altitude, median,
Orthogonal.
bisector?
Let me just make a note.
Ortho center.
G. No, hold on. G is the circumcenter. They said that. I'm going to write it down even though it's written in the directions. Now, if G is the circumcenter, what lines make the circumcenter, right? If we connect them, where do they intersect? Or what lines intersect to make this guy?
This point is birthday.
Mm-mm. Perpendicular bisectors, right?
Oh.
Right? So they told you these are perpendicular. So they must also be perpendicular bisectors because they both go through G, right? They've got to be. So that means that this segment's the same as this segment. And this segment's the same as this one. It's got to be. Because perpendicular bisectors intersect at G, right? That's what makes the circumcenter. So these are perp bisectors.
I'm used to the lines going through that angle.
Sure. Yeah. I see you. Yeah. Visual clues, right? Yeah. Game in the system. You're lucky.
Always do that.
So what's X?
3.
It's got to be, right? Y is 4. I disagree with Corinne. Corinne, you can't answer. You can't change your answer. Y is not 4. Y is at 8.
Double.
Double, right?
Wait.
Y is the whole thing.
What?
I wrote 8. I just.
Y is the whole thing.
Yeah. I didn't look.
Whole thing, my dude. Sure. I think you just said,
No,
okay.
I'm serious. Like
I bet, no, what Corinne did in her head, she's like, 4 times 2, 4. That's what she did. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I do that a lot.
Guaranteed. I know Corinne.
Try to be quicker than that.
Wow. That's right. I'm really going to miss all of my students. I'm definitely going to miss this class a lot.
What are you
All right.
leaving?
Where are you going?
Well, I'm not going to have you as students again anymore after the semester.
Why not?
I teach algebra and geometry.
He'll probably,
Well, I
probably
can
see
take
me
regular
again, honestly.
geometry. I'm only in basic.
Yes, you can take regular geometry.
Oh, that's true. Some of you might be in regular. Okay, so never mind.
Oh,
That's
I might have
good.
to go for it.
No, I quit math.
I don't
Or
know.
if you can't do math anymore, God bless you, right? Get out of it, right? If you don't have to.
I'm not doing
Right.
math.
God bless you.
Next math class.
God bless you. My geometry class is you enter as mere mortals, you leave as gods. It is a tough class. The quiz I'm giving this Friday in my regular geometry, please pray for them. Please. Not for you, but for them. All right. So, we know this whole side's 6 and this whole side's 8, and we know this is the right triangle, right? So how can we find Z? Yeah. Now, is Z the hypotenuse or a leg? Hypotenuse. So it's going to be 6 squared plus 8 squared equals Z squared. If Z was one of the legs, we'd put it over here, right?
So why is he the hot right?
We know because it's the biggest side. How do we know it's the biggest side? Again, because looks can be deceiving.
Right angle.
It's across from the right angle, right? The bigger the angle, the bigger the opposite side. And if this is a right angle, can these be bigger than 90? No. First of all, they don't look it. But second of all, if that's 90, all these got to add up to 180, right? So if one of these was bigger than 90, it'd already be over 180. Can't happen, right? So that's got to be the biggest angle. Therefore, this is the biggest side. Therefore, it's the hypotenuse. What's 6 squared? Very good. We're getting much better. We used to answer 12 a lot, right? That's good. What's 8 squared?
City 4.
Corinne's speeding up.
100.
Hundo. What's square root of 100? Otherwise known as the number that multiplies by itself to make 100.
0.
Disgraceful. Z is 10. Not bad. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Joseph, are you rolling this out? Is that the plan? I love it. The flow, it's good. You look like a hockey player from the 80s. All right. All right. You and Chance for best hair. Junior. Oh, wait, no, Chance senior. You're a junior, right? Okay, I was going to say best hair in the junior class. You got it all to yourself, bud. Drove this out. Ivy, you're a junior. Best male hair in the junior class between you and Tucker. Okay. Tucker's already got the 80s hockey player.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what I was thinking.
He's already got the 80s. It's good. I swear. I saw your picture from last year. Don't you dare go back. Don't you do that.
I'm not going back.
Okay? Don't you dare.
You get a bucket, you can mop the floor with it.
But did you see what it used to look like? It is an improvement. It is. Okay? It's good. He's got flow. Okay?
Looks like a clown.
We know G's the Medi Center. G is the Medi Center. So what kind of lines must they be if they go through G?
Oh, that. Is that from your side?
What we do? I know.
Let me make it better.
What happened?
Nah,
Can I give you
Hi.
I'm having a bad day.
Yeah, how can I help? Who? Tell me who.
I need some shoe cleaner.
You give me one word. Who did it? Elbow. They won't even know it's coming.
Look at this.
The shot.
Yikes.
Hit the old 4-4.
I get the old Raven out. You go 100 yards.
Okay, but
Guarantee I hit you dead on.
308 Winchester.
Tragedy.
Yeah,
Exposed.
Who committed this murder?
Got dusty shoes.
I don't know, but
I have clear.
I need to fix this, like, right
Oh.
now.
I have.
Should have called off school. Did you write did you write an email to the superintendent? You should have.
She has before.
I know that's the joke. All right. So
What was it about?
Get out of here.
no.
Oh my
G is the Medi Center.
Median.
That is a median, yes.
That's Medi Center. So these must be medians. Now what do we know about medians?
Vertex to midpoint.
Vertex to midpoint. So this must be a midpoint. So that's the
It's not in
same.
here.
That's the same. And these are the same. All right.
Oh, I just did this wrong.
Vertex to midpoint, they're medians, right? So we got medians. Now, what else do you know about medians?
That's 1-to-2 ratio.
That's right. So this is always half of this guy. So let's just write that in. That must be 4 then, right? That's the smaller part.
Is that a blue pen?
Black. This is smaller part, so what's this got to be? 10. And that's the bigger part, so that's 6. It's got to be 3. All right. Now, let's start answering some questions. I bet you can figure out what y is. Also, guys, cross off x. We're not going to find x for this one. When I originally made the problem, it was possible, Ms. Bechtel. If I'm just forgetting of how I came up with it and you can solve for x, I'll give you self-development points. Okay, you need to catch up. You need 20 by the end of the semester. All right.
Wait, what?
Trying to figure out which method you used that they know.
I think what I would have done, right, that they know. I think I was going to make this an isosceles triangle. And then we'd have similar angles, and I also gave this my regular geometry. We're going to get similar triangles and then do proportions. I think that's what I was going to do. But I had to make this early in the morning, and you know how things get. So, and I hate drawing these diagrams, so I wanted to go back and get as much out of them as possible, right? So, all right, so y. What's y going to be? 6. Again, if you know those are medians, easy question. If you don't know the medians, well, good luck, right? So, that's 10. Or that's 6. I swear there had to have been a way. Maybe it was that I was going to make that isosceles. If you can figure it out, let me know. Well, there's a other side there, bud. How do we know this was 6? These are medians, so that means vertex to midpoint, right? Which means
Oh,
these are
I
the
know.
same. Yep.
You're
No,
right.
no, it's
I
cool.
didn't even see that 3 there.
That's cool. That's cool.
You are not
No. If a question so small and insignificant as that is the only thing holding you back from being able to understand everything, then you're actually really smart. Right?
Facts.
Like, if I have a really complex equation on the board, you've got to ask a million questions and really complex ones to figure out what's going on. You don't know what's going on, right? But if you need, like, is that a 3? Oh, I get it now, right? Then you're actually really smart. I think people have dumb questions the wrong way around, right? If people are asking dumb questions, it means they understand everything else. They just don't get what that small thing is. It means they're really smart. I love dumb questions. Love
I
them.
would love to have
All right. 4. How do you solve a problem like Maria? First of all, those symbols right there, beautiful chevrons, those are parallel symbols, right? They're parallel. So we're going to have some similar triangles here, guys. How many triangles do you see in this diagram? 2. Little guy, big guy, right? Now, do they share any angles, little guy and big guy? They do. They share the top. So there's a set of angles, right? And if we can get another set, we can say by angle, angle, they're similar. Now, we know about parallel lines, right? If these 2 lines are parallel, and they're being cut by this guy, don't we have a transversal here? You guys remember that? 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal? Not at all? That's first semester. It's back a while ago. I'll draw it out over here. If we've got 2 parallel lines, and they're cut by a transversal, we'll call it T. Right? You guys remember this? Line L, line M?
Yeah.
LIM.
So, if this is true, then we know these are congruent by corresponding angles, right? They're both top left corner, right? And then these will be the same by vertical, right? And so on and so forth.
What's vertical?
Vertical angle scissors theorem.
That's right.
Your words, not mine. All right, so we have 2 parallels cut by a transversal. If it helps, you can extend these guys out, right? Does that help?
Go ahead.
That means that this angle here must be congruent. That's top left corner of this intersection, right? What's the top left corner of this intersection? This guy, right?
Wait, hold on 1 sec.
Again, if it helps to extend those guys out, right? It's the same thing as this. Right? 2 parallels cut by a transversal. Corresponding angles will be congruent. Top left corner, top left corner. Cool. Now, you could have done it for this side too. Right? We have 2 parallels cut by another transversal. These 2 angles will be the same as well, right? But you only need 2 to get the job done. How do we know these 2 triangles, this one at the top and the one at the bottom, this big guy? How do we know they're similar? Side angle side, side side side, or double angle? Which one? How do we know that this triangle and this triangle are similar? Angle, angle. Well, we don't know anything about sides yet. We just got 2 angles. 2 angles, right? By angle, angle similarity, they're the same. Cool. Now, same idea over here, right? This angle and this angle is congruent. It's got to be, right? They're both the top right corner intersections. 2 parallel lines, right?
Do you want my signature?
Now, we're going to have similar triangles. So we have proportions, right? So this segment right here is 3 in the small triangle, right? Between the green and the blue is 3 on the small triangle. How long is between the green and the blue on the big triangle? 10. Very good. That whole thing's 10, right? So we've got a 3 versus 10 relationship, right? 3 versus 10. On the small triangle, it's 3. On the big triangle, it's 10. And we know they go together because they're between the same angles, right? Green and blue, right? Now on the other side, what's between blue and red on the small triangle?
40.
What's between, oh, sorry, not blue and red, my bad. What's between green and red on the small triangle? 6. Now they're similar What's between green and red on the big triangle?
What?
What's between green and red on the big triangle?
12,
Excuse me?
36,
How about X?
66.
Right. Right? So we know that these should be equal because they're similar, right? They're proportional, right? 3 is to 10 the same way 6 is to whatever this is. Now, to solve a problem like this, I would suggest to you having X on the bottom, that's no fun. Let's flip this. It's solvable. But again, as long as you do both sides, that's algebra, right? I flip both. Now, somebody other than Mr. Eads, how do we solve a problem like Maria? How do we get X on its own?
10 times 6 divided by 3.
Very good, right? We move over the 6 by multiplication.
6.
Right? Now, you have an option. You can either times by the top or divide by the bottom first. What do you want to do first?
6 times
Okay, what's 6 times 10?
10. 60.
Divide by 3. Now, some of you might have been like, wait a minute, I'd rather divide first, right? What's 6 divided by 3? 2. When you can divide, it makes numbers small, right? So we like to do that. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Times 10 is? Right? Works either way. You can do the top first or the bottom first. Right? So this whole thing over here is 20. Now the question is, how are we going to find y? Well, that's between red and blue, right? So it should go with 40. All these sides are proportional. So all of these are going to equal each other. Now 40 is on the big triangle, right? And we put our big triangle stuff on top, right? Like x and 10. So 40 is going to go on top. And the side it goes with is y. That's going to go on bottom. Okay? Now, setting this up, you're not going to get an answer. We got too many variables, right? But we know 40 over y should equal 10 over 3, right? 40 over y should equal 10 over 3. They're all the same. They're all proportional, right? So, we know this to be true. Is everybody following me there? I think I'm jumping a little too fast. The small triangle sides, 3 goes with 10, right? And 6 goes with 20. So y is going to go with 40. And because they're similar triangles, they're all going to be, their relationship's all going to be the same, right? So whatever 10 is, or 3 is to 10, y will be to 40. Okay? 3 goes with 10 the same way y is going to go with 40. We cool with that? Ava, you all right? Okay. Now, what do I suggest to do for a problem like this? What's the first thing we should probably do? Flip them, right? Having the variable on the bottom, not a good time. It's solvable, but it's more of a pain. As long as you do it to both sides, whoops. As long as you do it to both sides, it's algebra. Right? How do we solve a problem like Maria? How do we get y on its own? Multiply by 40, right? So we got 40 times 3 divided by 10 equals y. When I multiplied by 40 on this side, it went away, right? Moved it over. Got rid of division by multiplication. Now, what do you want to do first? You want to times by 3 or divide by 10 first? Divide by 10, right? What's 40 divided by 10? Then we times by the top. 12. We win. Y is 12. You could have times by the top first, got 120, and then divided by 10, got 12. That's fine, right? Times by the top, divide by the bottom. Number 5. Whew.
Which triangles are we
Ms. Bechtel, are you talking to me?
Yeah, which triangles are we going to try to be similar or?
Ooh, number 5 might be, yeah, number 5's regular geometry only. We got to get similar triangles together. It's going to be vertical angles. Actually, no, we can do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, boys and girls, those are all 90, right? Both sides, right? Sorry, it's so small. Do you see any vertical angles here? Because if we can get 2 angles, we get similar triangles. Doesn't this make an X? So we've got vertical angles here and here. Smell what's happening? So by angle, these two triangles are similar. So that's good to go. Now, Mr. Eads, what kind of triangle is triangle GEC? All right. We've got a 3 here and a 5 for the hypotenuse. So what's that going to be? 3 here, 5 for the hypotenuse. So what's this side got to be? If you're not sure, set it up. We got 3 squared plus x squared equals our hypotenuse squared, 5 squared, right? What's 3 squared? 9. X squared, we're just leaving alone, right? And that 5 squared is 25, only thing funnier than 24. So, how do I get x squared on its own? Got to move over that 9, right? And now we got to ask, what's the root of 16?
8.
Excuse me? 4. What a
That
bozo.
was a little aggressive.
What a bozo.
I got a bit scared.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Just keep you on your toes.
Oh, I can be terrifying when I want to. But I don't want to. I like being nice. So x is 4, right? Did that without having to even use these angles and get similar triangles. Now, we know this triangle and this triangle are similar, right? These two triangles are similar. So the relationship between the sides should be the same. All right? So if this is 3 between the green and the red, that's going to go with z, right? Between green and red. So 3 and z are going to be proportional. Now we got to get some sides to compare them to. Our hypotenuses should be proportional too. So in the triangle with the 3, what's the hypotenuse? 3, 4, or 5? What's the hypotenuse in this guy? 5. So 3 is to its hypotenuse, as z is to its hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse in z? Triangle z is 10, right across from the 90. Okay, so we're going to go get us some z. How do I solve a problem like Maria? Wait, hold on. Before I go on, does everybody see how I got those?
No.
Okay, thank you. So between the green and the red here, right, that's 3. 3 is to 5 the same way that z should be to 10, right? Because 10's the hypotenuse here, 5's the hypotenuse there, right? And the small sides are 3 and z. Between green and red, 3. Our hypotenuse is 5. Between green and red here is z. Our hypotenuse is 10. We know they're similar, so their sides should be proportional, right?
Do we flip them now?
Why do we want to flip? Z's already on top, right? And it's easy to solve when z's on top, because what do you got to do to get rid of that divides by 10? How do you undo a divides by 10? Times by 10, right?
6.
What do you want to do? Divide by the top? Or, sorry, divide by the bottom or multiply by the top?
5.
What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
Times 3?
6.
You look like a genius. 3/5 of 10. 6. Divide by 5 times by 3. Yeah. So z is 6. I'm going to add that in my diagram. Tiny diagram. Sorry, guys. When I'm making it on my computer, I'm zoomed in by 300 to move dots around and stuff. It looks big to me. And then making it bigger is a lot harder than you'd think. For some reason, I don't think Microsoft Word uses vector dilation when you enlarge an image, but I could be wrong. Maybe it does. All right. It's great because I can use my writing pad and write equations, and it'll pop it on the screen all nice and printed. Google Docs and stuff like that doesn't do it. I used to use Google Docs and like other things like Apache before I started teaching math, but it was like that's the only thing that does it. So I'm stuck in Microsoft Word land, which sucks. But at least I can write out equations and it'll pop it on there.
Y is 8.
How'd you find out y is 8?
Big diagram.
So that's a 90-degree triangle. That's 6, right? There's y, there's 10. 10's our hypotenuse, right? So 6 squared plus y squared should equal 10 squared. Right? That's a tough one. We got 36. And hundo, what's 100 minus 36? Better question, what's 100 minus 30? Subtract 6 more. Therefore, y equals 8, because that's the root of 64. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. We're going to do more practice tomorrow when we do our review guide. It's going to be similar to this, okay? Do you guys see how you need to know about similar triangles to solve this? You also need to know about all your centers to be able to solve these. If you're still struggling with that, I'm staying super late today, so if you got practice, I'm going to be here late.
Wait, so when's this test?
Friday. Yeah, these go back in the bucket there, Chief.
Okay. Maddie. Sorry.
And then my reminder.
Thank you, Brandon.
Can I go put lunch on one? Go to the restaurant.
We never finished this.
Oh, no.
Can you make it for me?
I will make it for you. At least I'll try to. Let's see if
Wish I had better pictures.
So
of us
should we
floating
turn
off,
this in
but
there?
I think.
Wish I had better pictures of us
Yo.
floating off.
Turn this in there?
On another one.
me, Russ.
Yeah, you can if you want. Yeah, that's fine.
That would be fun.
So we do that. So we have all two. And this guy slides under. And then
It's okay.
we take these together, we win.
That's Toby. And that's me.
Now the hard part is finding all 6 sides after we make it.
They want to see another one?
You'll get stuck on 3 for a while unless you're clever. You don't need to like force it though, so be careful, don't rip it.
That one. I don't like that thing.
Look how big his head is.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at
that
that.
shit cracks me up.
And if you find the other sides, there'll be sides that kind of like stick up, right? You can take those down. But right now you're good to go. So guys, I'm gonna show you Ava's real quick. So this is Ava's hexaflexagon. Right, super cute. If you push in like this, you can see the other sides. You can find all 6 sides. I won't show you how to do it.
Hey, yeah, Ava, come here,
Thank you. Took me a while to figure it out. I made a diagram. Turns out Richard Feynman was trying to make diagrams about these to figure out how to get all the sides too.
Hey, if I literally changed at all.
Oh my god. I mean, your style's looking better. I'll give you that. You got a little more hair too.
Yeah, I like the same. I like the same one.
Yeah, you can do more with your hair now than you could then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh wait, here's another one too. His big head is literally all over my.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not.
Literally.
Good job today, guys.
Big head.
How
Oh, that's so cute.
see if I can remember anything. 51? Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. 20 more.
That's a cute little. I look like.
Yeah, we got plenty of time left, so hang tight. Tucker and Mr. Weezer.
Hang tight.
Is that you?
Yes. I was supposed to wear a hat because I thought I was a boy.
You have the same eyes. It's adorable.
Everyone
They are.
thought.
They are my eyes.
Everyone thought that I looked like a Cabbage Patch doll. Look how purple my lips are. It used to be really stupid.
If I trusted you not to get yourselves in trouble, maybe. But we know that's not a strong suit.
Hey, you guys want to see a good pic?
Most of you guys are smart enough to not get caught. That's all I ask.
It's loading.
That's really all I ask. If you don't get caught, you don't get in trouble, and neither do I. As soon as you get caught, then I gotta throw you under the bus.
Yes, I agree.
Didn't say anything, Brett.
Look at that.
Somebody likes that.
Hey, new team
Gentlemen.
profile.
What's up?
I like your steel-toed boots, or maybe they're not steel-toe.
Dude, I've been a hippie since
Good. Easy to
2000,
walk
whenever
around.
this was.
Don't be testing them out of each other, okay? Not while I can look.
Should I
Not while I
recreate this
can
right
look.
now?
No.
Kick me, I'm gonna slap you, so.
Don't do it in here. Okay? We had a kid lose his kneecap a couple weeks ago. Let's not. Okay? Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
Matt,
I know, but don't do it. I swear.
I'm gonna recreate
I'm gonna
this.
have to be a teacher if I see it, and I will see it. Yeah.
I would have slapped this kid.
Wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
I would have slapped that
You got like the
kid.
Kirsten Dunst look going on.
Tucker,
That's
did you really
good.
just kick me?
Disgusting.
Doc.
I'm gonna bounce your head off the wall.
Like Bailey Brewer when she plays basketball. That kid
Aggressive.
vicious, vicious, right?
Vicious.
Can't dribble the ball, which will dribble your head,
Oh, ouch.
right?
Hey, you gotta do it.
Giving concussions.
Oh my
Can you
god.
play that up there?
I don't know if it's in tune.
I cut my hair off twice.
You're like a little old lady. Oh jeez.
No, it's not in tune.
Okay. What about that big guitar?
Maybe, I don't think it's in tune either. I brought it in yesterday, got it left around in my car.
Oh my god.
Running out of good picks.
Like you're supposed to do my
Be like a real
dog
man,
and you
she's
can see
banging.
my tear stains on the
I
pillow.
do, for my acoustic, but
Is
it's all
it dead
busted
now?
up.
That one?
You don't use your fingers,
Is
I
it
don't
dead in
like
that picture?
Oh no!
Metal
This
strings?
is before we get put to sleep. And you can see
And you're
my,
like smiling.
you can see my tear stains on the pillow. Yeah, I was like, you can see that I was fine. You know, it's supporting me when we were babies. I grew up with this doggy. I got him for my first birthday. So like we grew up together, like, you know, and
Yeah.
he died.
My mom said that everyone's like you look like the show from Disney. And then oh my god, it looks just like you. That's so funny. Mac, does this remind you of anything?
Looks like you.
No, it looks like a Cabbage Patch doll. This is like a
Mary's going off.
Like a little.
Their YouTube is really funny.
Well, just here watching them. Just watching.
Mike used to have fans back in the good old days.
Get the flashlights out.
Matt, can you play
we leave
Summer
early?
Rising Sun?
Ooh, I used to be able to. What key is it in?
Can we skedaddle early?
Play Riptide. Everyone knows that song.
What's it?
What?
I think it's an A minor.
Yikes.
I don't know off the top of my head.
That
It's an
one?
easy song.
Where?
I was a pirate. Here's a
I'm sure you heard it on the radio.
Oh yeah, but I just don't pay attention.
Look at my hat. I have
That
pineapple
looks like
socks on.
Emma Peppers.
A minor. Yeah. So. Right.
Okay.
It's called right?
Yeah.
Just that over and over.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what I remind myself of?
I would
That
sing,
name of
but
the rock.
I can't do anything higher than what I'm doing right
Yes.
now.
He has like the fairy
I liked that. And he's like this.
We're back up. I gotta get out of here early.
Go, get gone, get gone.